the One Piece takes like popping off. People talking about One Piece is political. One Piece is communism. You like the weekend? Thank a union for that. Thank some communists for that, okay? And then last but not least, my timeline has been going nutty mode on One Piece, okay? It has been crazy. There's like a million different One Piece TikToks that have gone hella viral, okay? Like insanely viral. And it's completely out of nowhere. I don't even know what this is about. But I guess Trash Taste, or not just Trash Taste, but like the anime man, Joey, has been under fire lately because I think he made like a YouTube video or something where he was like talking about anime tourists or some shit like that. And basically, they've been yelling at him over that. They've been yelling at Trash Taste over that. And in the process of like getting mad at Trash Taste for their trash takes on anime, I guess is the way that things are going. And I don't know what he did. I have no idea what he did. Literally don't understand. But like my For You page has been just all this. And these all have like 100K likes, 80K likes. It's crazy. They got like millions of fucking views. And basically what happened is they are using an old clip from my first Trash Taste, slot that I did, where I talked about how One Piece is political. Now, the irony there is that the dudes, including Connor, were just kind of fucking around. They weren't like, they understood that it was political, but people are basically just using this like short clip to just dunk on all of them, to be like, these guys are fucking idiots. They don't understand. I don't even think that they were like, they were, you know, they were just like playing along. They weren't like aggressively debating me on it or some shit like that. But it doesn't even matter. To be honest, I think they were reacting that way for the content. Yeah, but it's just, it's completely out of my hands. We get it, they're your friends? No, that's the other thing. Bro, what are you talking about? Last time I went on Trash Taste when I was in Japan, this is from the first time I went on Trash Taste. The last time I went on Trash Taste when I was in Japan, it got brigaded into fucking oblivion by Asmongold, Ethan Klein, and Destiny Dick Riders and Trash Taste's own fucking fan base to be like, this guy's a terrorist. Why the fuck would you have a terrorist on? They went crazy. They were like trying to dox the people that fucking work on the background at Trash Taste. And they got so scared from that brigading that they literally came out and were like, we're never letting Hasan on Trash Taste ever again. So people don't even know what the actual reason is. No, they got fucking yelled at. And I never said a damn thing either. I was like, all right, well, all I did was, hey guys, I was on this episode, go show it love. I don't even have any fucking smoke for these dudes anyway. I don't, it's fine. They're nice people. I don't really give a shit. I'm used to it, right? Wait, so Connor doesn't fuck with you no more? No, not even. It's not like that at all. Not even a little bit. But like in my line of work, in my business, with what I do, I know that there are a lot of quote unquote apolitical fucking shitheads that can present themselves as like fans of whatever particular thing that they're invested in to make it seem like they just have a real point of contention, a real point of anger against me. And they can present it in a way that like at the time will freak people out. And that's precisely what happened. What ended up happening in that situation was they so heavily fucking brigaded that and then celebrated the brigading too. They did it openly that these guys literally turned around and were like, yeah, we're never going to let him on. I don't even know who brigaded. I think Hasan brigaded it. And I was like, brigaded it? I'm on the fucking episode. I just said, go show the fucking podcast some love. But in any case, you know, I don't have any issues with these guys, but I do think it's kind of funny that like everyone is using the one time where they were in an interest of making content out of it, like they were just going back and forth on it. The Australian news is literally covering it. Wait, what?
Why is the One Piece flag flying?
Yeah, that's okay. Let's just start here first, and then we'll get to the Australian news side.
He literally is. I mean, he's fighting. I hate that you're kind of.
Hasan was banned from coming back to the Trash Taste podcast after that episode because their audience.
It's not true. That it wasn't that episode. That was I was on again. I was banned after the second time I went on.
Was so up in arms that he would dare to bring the political allegory that is One Piece to the forefront in those conversations. As someone who's been making videos for a short amount of time, it's actually easy to just talk about the different aspects of Nen in Hunter x Hunter. It's easy to talk about the different devil fruits. It's easy for me to respond to comments where people need me to clarify a fight between Hisoka and Crollo. What's hard is to go against the people that side with oppression or the people that are complacent to it, and they don't want you to bring it up. They don't want you to talk about it. They don't want you to take these kinds of stances. As far as I can tell, that is the Trash Taste podcast listenership. They would like to bury their head in the sand of happy-go-lucky rubber boy punching big dragon dude. They don't want to see that Kaido is a capitalist overthrow and a totalitarian regime that owns an entire island and is subjugating its people. They don't want to see these kinds of things because then it reflects reality back at them, and they want to escape from reality. They'd rather not pick a side. They'd rather not.
I think this is a decent assessment for a lot of the One Piece fandom that at the time got mad at me for saying this and was yelling at me. If you remember, a lot of like the big One Piece accounts that were that constantly fucking rage bait didn't even care about what I was saying or the argument that I was making, and turned around and were just simply fucking, remember those like big blue check mark accounts on Twitter at the time? They were going hella fucking aggro on me. They're like, Hasan called Luffy a terrorist. What is he, the one world government? They didn't even understand what I was fucking saying. Like I was like, he's a freedom fighter. I'm saying he's a freedom fighter. Like what you would call someone a terrorist in the real world sometimes could also be a freedom fighter. Like that's the point I was trying to make. But basically, a lot of people at the time were mad, but 2 years after that, at this stage, around the globe, the Straw Hat Pirates flag is now seen as like a symbol of resisting against oppressive governments internationally. Nepal, Indonesia, no matter where people go, there's One Piece flags at the fucking pro-Palestine protests. It is straight up now seen as a flag by the youth. It is now seen as a flag by the youth to resist against unjustifiable systems of oppression. So I would say that this is quite literally one of my most resilient takes.
Advocate for people that need it. They would rather run away. And when you refuse to advocate for the people who need it the most, don't be alarmed when you are counted on the list with the oppressor by the oppressor. It is not only the people that are against oppression who will count you as against them. It is the people who are doing the oppression will count on the fact you will not speak up.
I think this dude's assessment is pretty correct, though. Trash Taste motherfuckers are really chill people. I used to watch them a lot. Anime audience motherfuckers still have a lot of right-wing people too. Very different from Connor, Joey, and Garn's politics. Comes with the territory a bit to self-censor and also with the additional brigading. They just don't want to be harassed by Hasan haters, y'all. We see how nasty Hasan ops get, and they just want to protect their team and crew. Like, that was the real reason. That was definitely the reason. I can't stop people from fucking feeling some type of way about that, especially because at the time, it's like I was getting my ass fucked from 11 different directions, whether it be like the Israeli government, literally, or whether it be like a bunch of fucking liberal content creators who were presenting me as a fucking terrorist using the most Islamophobic sentiment that possibly could fucking arrive at, to be like, he's a terrorist, he's a terrorist, he's a terrorist, over and over and over again. Now, of course, a lot of those people have shut the fuck up now. Have you noticed? They've been mad quiet because it fucking feels like it's fuck Israel o'clock. Something I've noticed is fuck Israel o'clock right now. That's what it feels like to me. So a lot of those apolitical centrist Andes who made it seem as though they were simply critiquing just the pro-Palestinian side, they've been quite quiet as of late. Just saying. So no, I don't have like, I don't have a lot of smoke for the Trash Taste boys in general. I'm just simply talking about the One Piece's political take. The One Piece's political take has been resilient. The One Piece is about revolutionary politics has been resilient. And it's so crazy because one of the things that I talked to about Timothy Chalamet, who's just like a 19-year-old TikToker at the time. Turns out he's not a part of the Houthis, even though I initially thought, just like everybody else, that he could have been. Turns out he wasn't, right? That we found out in the interview. The one thing that everyone constantly talks about, like about how Hassan needs to be banned. Hassan needs to be banned. He interviewed a Houthi. Once again, I can't believe he brought up One Piece to the Houthi. I can't believe he brought up One Piece to the Houthi. Racist ass motherfuckers, bro. Racist ass motherfuckers. Vindication. If Israel's approval ratings are in the fucking dirt today, what do you think people are going to look at and reflect on tomorrow? The more people recognize the reality of Israel's genocide, the more people are going to come to terms with why some people resist against said genocide in the most like non-violent ways possible too. But yeah, this is not a I told you so moment anyway. This is a moment to continue acting, to continue pushing. Okay?
Your audience will also desert you. I don't know if Lollyman over here, the anime man, ever realized that he probably had.
This is like fucking 3 minutes long. But yeah, my point is, it's funny that like there is like a little bit of miscommunication, I think. There is a little bit of a wrong assessment here, because I don't even think that the Trash Taste podcast is like expressly right wing at all. They do have a very right wing audience, and I think that's probably the reason why they engage in self censorship. And not only that, but also that's the reason why they fucking banned me. But it wasn't over the One Piece take. I'm just correcting the record. In any case, the One Piece takes like popping off. People talking about One Piece is political. One Piece is revolutionary politics. It's great. Another thing that I've seen is like a bunch of fucking 4chan dipshits talking about a GI Robot. They're like shitting on GI Robot, being like, GI Robot is actually so lame. The fact that people celebrate this like Nazi killing robot, they just don't understand. Like, people are just dumb as fuck. People are shitting on GI Robot out there. What do you mean? He's just a robot that wants to kill Nazis. The fuck's the problem? When did we get to a point where people don't immediately look at you and go, you're being weird, dog? What do you mean? It's a Nazi killer. That's a good thing. This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Like, they tried this shit with Wolfenstein. Nazis tried this shit with Wolfenstein. Remember when it came out, people were like, oh, this is a Nazi killing game. This is really fucked up. And everybody laughed at them. Everyone was like, shut the fuck up. What are you, a Nazi? Why are you offended by this? And it kind of feels like we're at a stage now where people are just way more comfortable about being like, you actually shouldn't celebrate killing Nazis. What a deep shame for everyone. They're calling Indiana Jones woke now for also doing the same. How the fuck did we get here? Yeah, it's this fucking dipshit.
Funny thing about Gio.
I can't stand this motherfucker. This guy has been like, this guy used to also present himself as a liberal. And I think like this time around, because I remember we watched one of his videos when he was like, I'm a liberal, and as a liberal, I can't stand Hassan Piker because he is a real problem for the cause of liberalism or whatever the fuck. And now he's just straight up a neo-Nazi, like openly fucking admitting that he's a goddamn neo-Nazi. I cannot believe it. Who would have thought people who present themselves as progressives who constantly fucking left bash would be Nazis or neo-Nazis openly only a couple years later? Remember, this motherfucker way back in the day used to talk about how he would try to like attack me from the perspective of like a real progressive. He was like, I'm a liberal, a real progressive. Hassan is not a real progressive. Now this motherfucker is running around shitting on people for celebrating GI Robot killing Nazis and neo-Nazis. Any criticism equals Nazism? I mean, for this, a little bit, yeah. Yeah. If you're this bent out of shape over a fictional robot that kills Nazis, then you might fucking be a Nazi. Something to consider. Maybe as a LARP, but why are you fucking LARPing as a Nazi anyway? Yeah, if you want to know like the fucking brigade, the brigading that went crazy over this was probably my least political. This was the second time I went on Trash Taste, and it was all of these like fucking lolly ass Nazis like this. This dude is a Mexican, by the way. A Mexican neo-Nazi, straight up. Name is HasanAbi. Like, look, Hassan, I love sex trafficked girls, Piker. Man, Trash Taste fell off if y'all brought Hassan on. Heavy fucking brigading. Do you guys think the Houthis like Luffy too? That is the real reason that I was banned from participating in Trash Taste. Anyway, but yeah, very, very strange things happening in the world right now. Very, very strange shit, but it gives me a little bit of confidence that I think a lot of people are beginning to recognize exactly what's taking place, you know? Whether it be Israel's genocide or whether it be the political nature of One Piece and the revolutionary politics inside of One Piece. I still find it odd that the anime community trends more right-wing. No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. It's escapism. Japan is a very right-wing culture. And a lot of people see Japan as like the perfect society because of its xenophobic tendencies. Whether it be, also pedophilia too. There's that too. It makes a lot of sense. Japan is a fucking ethno state. Having said that, however, of course, there are many Japanese people like Hideo Kojima or even Oda himself that have, or even fucking, what's his face? Studio Ghibli. Like, there are mad fucking revolutionary Japanese people out there. Now, some of their politics might not be super in line, but yeah, Miyazaki as well. Hayao Miyazaki, not the best person in his own personal affairs, but his politics are very interesting. His politics are very great. He is a anti-AI, very worried about climate change, anti-imperialist, an open hater of the United States of America, anti-fascist. So there are a ton of incredibly important artists and auteurs in Japan that do not reflect the broader views of Japanese society, or rather have a very unique take on a lot of things, especially in comparison to like American perspectives. Yeah, Miyazaki was a literal Marxist organizer. Yep. So remember that. And there's also a shit ton of mangakas that have come out in support of Palestine. So there's that famous drawing that represents Palestinian resistance. I forget. It's like the kid with his hands behind his back. A bunch of Japanese mangakas actually redrew that in their own art style as well. There was like a sequence, Hondola, yeah. There was a sequence of like Japanese mangakas that redrew that all around the world. Artists did that in an effort to show their pro-Palestinian leanings. And a bunch of Japanese mangakas also did that too. I think you don't really know Oda, individualism, Darwinism, and Kojima, misogynist, anti-woke. Oh my God. I don't care, man. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. There are, please stop. People are multifaceted. I literally already accounted for it. And I said that they're not going to correspond to your worldview 100%. Okay. Shut the fuck up. God damn. The perspective I'm talking about is like revolutionary politics or anti-imperialism. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Stop being fucking like stop refusing to hear what I'm saying and then making up your own mind about it. Okay? Be fucking normal. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Modern media literacy is just people looking for bias, manipulation, and hidden agendas where they aren't, while missing the plain meaning right in front of them. It's like treating every joke like a puzzle, every arc like propaganda, every message like a secret code. I like that this guy immediately goes, fun fact, Oda put a lot of Christian iconography in all of One Piece. So if we use their way of thinking, that means One Piece is inherently Christian. Now, I don't actually believe that statement, and I think it's just an amazing story. I don't believe it, but like I wish it was true. I'm going to do exactly what you claimed. At least under feudalism, there was no expectation that you could increase your station. It led to most lords actually feeling responsibility to people in his domain. Now, when you remain a peasant, it's framed as your fault. I mean, I wouldn't say that if feudalism was better than capitalism. Let's be fucking real. It certainly was not. Capitalism was an understandable and positive evolution away from feudalism. Okay? The problem is we need to do more. You know, we can go beyond that. Look at the bounties that technological achievements have provided for all of us. Like in this day and age, famine is a completely human-made construct, okay? Like think about that. We have an abundance of food supply, and yet 14 million people around the world die due to famine-related causes every fucking year. This is before we talk about imperialism that sustains capitalism, right? The deaths born out of that. It blows my fucking mind. In this day and age, the only reason why people are still dying of famine is because of capitalism. And it's a real interesting irony that those who continue the capitalist organization of the economy, those who defend it, will then turn around and point to like Mao, for example. Famines born out of miscalculations that have been devastating in areas that actually experienced a fuck ton of famine for a very long time and were able to eradicate it. They point to that. We don't have it anymore. We don't have to have it anymore. It's just a matter of logistics. It's just a matter of profit.